name's Mandy and this is my channel, Make It So. So welcome back if you've joined me before, or if you're new here, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch my video. So I'm doing a Friday Sews using the brilliant hashtag Friday Sews, which was created by Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room, where we talk about life, what we've been up to and what our plans are. So I've been back from holiday for 2 weeks now. Blues are still here, unfortunately. I'm really missing the sun because I think we had one day of really nice sunshine and it was lovely and warm. And as you can see, we're in jumpers now. So it's gone from being 100 degrees where I was in Florida to, if I do it in Fahrenheit, I think it's about 34. When I drove to work the other morning, it was 3 degrees in the car, out UK temperature. And yeah, I think we've got autumn here now, haven't we? And I apologise if you've heard loads of people talking about the weather, but for us, it's such a dramatic change after being in the heat for a lovely 2-week holiday and then coming back straight into this. So it means I can get rid of some of my thicker fabrics from my stash and have a bit more room. So what have I been up to since I got back? I did a bag testing, which is for a lovely friend of mine, but it hasn't been released yet, so I can't tell you about it. But I was really happy with that. But while I was making it, I just got my Bonina back from David Drummond. It had its service and she'd had a holiday like she was going on, and it arrived really nicely. And I will put a clip in here just to show you how she come back, and then I'll tell you a little bit about what happened after that. So my Bonina arrived back this morning, and you'll see the packaging is pretty much what I sent it in, plus a few fragile repairs. So David, bless him, rang me yesterday knowing I was back from my holiday and discussed a few things that unfortunately weren't right with the machine. So he got that fixed yesterday, which was Friday, and paid for the courier to send it to me today. So it doesn't cost me. It was very kind of him to get it back because I think he knew I wanted it. So I'm going to open it and I'll go through what was wrong. And here she is. I did send it with what came originally, just to keep the needle safe as well. And they've been playing and done a few little stitches, which is nice. So a while ago I had a pin fall down one of these. If you've got a Bonina, how do you stop your pins falling down there? Because I know they're necessary for adding certain attachments, but that is the one place my pins tend to gravitate to. And what happened was I tried to find it and I could not find it anywhere, and obviously in the meantime it's caused a few issues with the machine. So I'm hoping she sounds a bit better now. I thought it was just my sewing speed. So they had to remove some jam thread from the take-up lever, remove burrs from the hook, whatever hook that is, I don't know, reset the needle bar limiter position, adjust the feed dog position, and reset the feed balance. They also had to adjust the motor drive belt tension, and obviously it got cleaned and serviced, and I got 10% off the service charge. So with the repairs, that was a really reasonable amount, and I'm more than happy because it means my Bonina's nice and well again. And they did also update the software, so she's got a new brain as well. So David Drummond are not paying me for any of this. I just wanted to show that it's really easy to pack it all up, and as I've said before, they'll do a service for any machine, whether you bought it from them or not. And they don't charge you for the pickup or the drop off, and it's really good, really reassuring. It's all been done and well worth sending it all the way to Scotland to get repaired from somebody that I have a lot of trust in. So there she is. So I got her back, and I don't know why, but after being away from my machine for 2 weeks and finding out there was things wrong with it and I'd been using it, I lost a bit of my confidence with it. So I don't know why, it's really silly, but I was worried I might break it again. So anyway, I did use it and I made the tester bag I was talking about, and it was fine. And then I was sewing with my lovely friend Sam through, where was it, through FaceTime, and I went to change my bobbin and I couldn't get the bobbin out, could I? Don't know what happened. So she suggested a really great YouTube channel called Bonina Jeff, and I looked on there how to remove it, because apparently it's quite a common thing. But do you think I could get that out? It just would not budge. Even my husband tried, and because it had been serviced, the actual metal part was quite sharp, so my poor husband sliced his finger as well, and I was just more concerned about whether there was any blood on my machine. Sorry. So anyway, I spoke to David Drummond, I sent them an email and I said, help, my bobbin is just not coming out. And David said, send it straight back to us. They got it the next day, and he was quite surprised because he said their post is quite slow, and he fixed it, got it out for me and sent it back to me. But meanwhile, I used my Banette, which was great. I love my Banette machine, which I take to socials. But I was doing a make that needed a lot of top stitching, and I didn't have an edge stitch foot with that machine. So I done it so slow. I was on bunny steps with that one. But because David Drummond was so quick, I got my part back on Friday and I was able to finish what I was making, and that will be in a future video, you'll see. So I didn't want to have to go through that again, so I have actually purchased a spare bobbin case and the metal part as well. I'm sure it's got a technical name, just so that if this did happen again, I'm not without my Bonina, because I do love using this machine. It is my favourite machine I've ever had, and I did work up to it. I never got that straight away. I'd been sewing for quite a few years before I got it. So anyway, that was that. And then there's something else new in my sewing room this week. When I got back, I sat at my old desk and I thought, this just doesn't work in here. It's too big and too deep, and I cannot reach anything on the walls. But I can now. So again, I did a little clip for you so you can see what it looked like before and what it looked after, and see what you think. So at the moment, my current setup is that I have this adjustable height table here, which I have my Cricut machine on, and then I have my Overlocker and sew machine on this massive corner desk. I'll stand up so you can see it is quite deep, and I just think it's nice to have that space, but I do tend to collect a lot of stuff on the surface, and I'm also limited on the floor where my rug is to move my chair back. So what I'm going to do is, this cutting table that I have here, which has an adjustable handle on, I'm going to get the same for the corner, and then if I have a really long piece of fabric, I can just move my machine over slightly and extend that one up as well. So I'm now going to have the lovely task of clearing that desk, trying to sell it second hand like I bought it in the first place, and then moving this desk over so that when I get my delivery on Thursday, I can put my new table straight where this one is. So let's see how that goes, shall we? So all the desk is clear, and I've got all the sticky stuff off that I had my tape measure on, and it looks absolutely massive, but it just doesn't work for me anymore. So I'm hoping that a rectangular desk flush with this one will be better, because I have to have my machine right close anyway, so it might mean I sit better. I'll let you know. So here we have my new setup. These units have always been here. I'm not going to give you a massive in-depth tour. My cupboard's where I have all my patterns and bits and bobs. That was second hand, so was all that. My fireplace. I always light a candle with my wax melts, which is nice. And I have a telly, which I watch all the YouTube vloggers on. And then this is my cutting table. Excuse the sun, but I am self-facing here. And you've got the other table I showed you before, all my fabric collection, my scrappy puff I made, my lovely rug I've had for years. I moved it away because it used to be near my cutting table the other way round, but it just got so many threads on it. I thought, still looks pretty, I'm not getting rid of that. So it's now away from where I do cutting of fabric and sewing, so I don't have to constantly hoover up the threads. And here's the desk. So you'll see I've got a lot more room now. Just step back so you can see the whole setup of what you see when I'm doing my filming. And I'm really enjoying the space. Yes, my big chair is probably totally impractical in that space, but it works and it is really comfortable. So although it takes ages to get sorted, I'm really happy. So there you go. So that's really what I've been up to, except for I started my Waves and Wild Kinjarling dress in some Liberty fabric that I'd got in my Think Pink subscription box, and I can't show you it at the moment. I have been filming as I'm making it, but I will reveal that next time, because it hasn't actually, how do I put it, been plain sailing for me, and it's not the pattern, it's just how it looks on me. So I will show you that in a later video when I release it, probably on my next Friday sews. So other than that, I haven't really made anything. I've also attended quite a few sewing sessions in the last couple of weeks. So I've attended a couple of virtual sewing room socials, and I also hosted one last weekend. And after I hosted that, I had to drive to Lincoln because I was attending in person the Scothern Sewcial. So it was a bit of a rush getting up Saturday night, because after my Bonina going wrong and having to finish that special make I was making, I wasn't as prepared, and I was really hoping to get to my brother Saturday morning so I could do this hosting of the social at his and then have the evening with him, which I still did, but then obviously have a break from driving before I come back Sunday. So it didn't quite work to plan, and because of that, when I got there, I was meeting up with the lovely Michelle from Michelle the Menopausal Sewer and the lovely Laura from So Very Laura. They were coming to the social as well, which was really lovely. Very distracting, but it's a nice distraction. But anyway, I picked Michelle up from her hotel and she put all her stuff in my boot. And when we got to the social, I said to her, "Did you see a purple glittery toolbox in the boot?" And she was like, "No, I'd only gone and left it all at home, hadn't I?" So I had my material and I had my sewing machine, but I didn't have any spare needles, any thread, any pins, any scissors, or any of the tools that you need to take with you. And I've never done that before, but it just shows how after a hectic week and rushing to get somewhere, I forgot, didn't I? So the lovely Michelle and Laura and Emma, who I will put some pictures in here, who runs the social, all helped me out by giving me needles and things like that so I could get on with my sewing. And it was such a lovely day. And Laura and myself also did a little bit of filming for our reveal that you will see this week. So it was a lovely day, but it was very tiring getting home again the same night and then obviously being at work the next morning. So it has been quite a busy couple of weeks really, but I love it. It was so lovely to see them, and hopefully we're going to see each other again at one in December for Christmas, so that'll be lovely. Other than that, another thing, I have been really busy with sewing, which is lovely. I had the day off on Thursday and I went to a special group. I say special because we had a special session that day where we were going to be learning about our overlockers. Now, my overlocker isn't anything special. It's just one of these which I got from Aldi a few years ago. Didn't cost too much, but it does exactly what I need it to do. It's not bad threading either. It's a lot easier than the one I used to have, so I never fall out with it and want to get rid of it. But I only ever used it to sew normal hems or finish off seams. So we were learning about it and I was brave. I finally changed my needles I've been talking about doing for a long while, but I also learned how to do a rolled hem. And by some miracle, my machine was the first one that actually, with the settings they recommended, worked out. And this is just a little example of a rolled hem that we did on some lining of some description. I think they said it was nappy lining. So it was so neat. I hope you can see that on the camera. And after that, after playing with some rainbow thread so I could actually see which part of the overlocker was doing what stitch, we tried different fabrics as well. So I also took a fat quarter with me and did a rolled hem. And I also took some very thin jersey because I thought it'd be good to try different mediums. So I also did a rolled hem on here, and you can see to start with the tension settings it gave you weren't quite right, but then when I changed them slightly it worked out really nicely. So then I was brave and I thought, I've always wanted to do a lettuce hem. And when you find out how to do a rolled hem and then you realise what you have to do just to make it a lettuce hem, it's so easy. All you do is stretch the fabric as you're going through doing a rolled hem, and then it curls up. Don't know if you're going to see it very well on here because it is very curly. But I really love it, and I'm really chuffed that I got to know that. And the other silly thing was, excuse me leaning, there was a part in my instruction book and it was called a 2-stitch converter. I've never heard of it, and I had this piece in my Bonina tool, or my foot holder. I've got like a actual foot, what do you call it, wallet or something, I don't know what they call it. And I'd had this bit in there, and when I was sorting out on my desk I nearly got rid of it, but I thought it must be important for something, and this is what it looks like. And do you know how I found out what it was? I went on to good old internet and searched for this model when Aldi did sell it, because they don't sell it anymore, and it was just happened to be in their stock photo, and it was like, I've seen that, I know what it is now. So I'm going to have a bit more of a play this week, because it's nice just to play with the machine and see what it can do, and I'll show you that next time. So that's what I've been up to. So I have made a few fabric purchases since I got back to the UK, but I found after having my fabric ban that it has made me a bit more mindful about what fabric I'm buying. I don't want to be buying fabric just because it's pretty, unless I've got a reason for buying it, because I have a lot of fabric already and I cannot justify just adding more and more to it with no plans. So what you're going to see is actually all things that I thought, yes, I need that to make something. So I'm going to show you. Although the first thing, I did see it, but it's for my daughter. And she loves Hocus Pocus. And my lovely friend Adam from Adam Sews was doing a de-stash. And I saw this and I just was like, can I please have that one? So it is, as far as I can remember, a French terry, and it's this one. And every time I look at it, I just want to go, sisters, because she loves that film. So I'm going to make her a lovely hoodie out of that one. And thank you, Adam. It arrived very quickly and she loves it. So the next one I bought was from Andrea from Beyond the Pink Door, and I got a lovely little postcard, and it says on the back, wishing you many fun hours of sewing. And I don't know if I've said about it before, but as well as loving purple, I absolutely love giraffes. And when I saw this on Andrea's Instagram page, I just had to have it because it's giraffes. And this is a lovely viscose, and it comes in with a black background or a white background. But I love it because the giraffes are grown-up giraffes, if that makes sense. They're not like nursery ones or things for children. So I can, basically I'm going to make myself some pyjamas because I just love it. I think they're too big a print to make a blouse out of, although they would look lovely. But I just can see myself in some pyjamas, and I think they'll feel very luxurious. So thank you, Andrea, one happy girl. And then the last things I got were from Knighton Fabrics. Now I haven't bought from Knighton since I first started my YouTube channel. I used to buy quite regularly from them because a lot of their bases are like stretch fabrics and stuff, like scuba was a lot of the things I got. So I have actually got a little list so I can tell you exactly what they are, and I can also tell you what they're going to be used for. So the first thing I got, I actually made a dress out of, and it's purple, of course. It's got sewing notions on it, and it's a spun poly elastane, but I've decided I want some Juno pyjamas made in this, so that when I go on my sewing retreat I've got my own sewing pyjamas as well. And that was really nice to work with last time, and it's not over hot, and it's just a lovely smooth fabric. I haven't washed anything yet. I am desperate to get them all washed so I can start using them to make things with. But that was my first one. That was £4 a metre. Unfortunately, my camera decided to freeze, so I apologise. So the next fabric I got was this one, and it's because my daughter wants to dress up for Halloween as the chef from Ratatouille. The name escapes me right now. I'm sure you'll know who I'm on about. But I got 3 metres to make her some trousers and whatever else she needs for that one. So these are all spun polyester elastane, and they're all about the same price, I believe, which was, excuse me because I've done this already, £4 a metre. So that was a really good buy, I thought. The next one was for myself. I also like to dress up for Halloween, and I'm going around my friends, so we always dress up and have a lovely meal and Halloween themed films. So I got this one. Can you guess what it is? So I'm hoping I can make the outfit with this because it's nice and light, so it won't get too warm, and it will make it a lot easier than trying to do the actual patchwork, which I think I can remember somebody made and it looked amazing, but I won't have the time to do that, unfortunately. And then the last one I got, it was actually in the warehouse sale, so it was 3 metres, I believe, for £9. And this one was because there's a lovely event going on in October, and it's called Sophisticated, and it's an afternoon tea event which looks amazing. But unfortunately I'm away in Leicester for the dressmakers ball, so one's one end of the country and one's the other, so I can't do both, which is such a shame. But they're also running a competition over on Instagram. I'll put all the details on the screen and also in the description box below. But there's a competition where you can sew something that you would take to an afternoon tea. So it could be a garment or it could be an accessory. I think that's quite an open one there. I'll also put who it's run by because I don't want to get that wrong either. I know it's Tanya from Just Let Me Sew, and there's another lovely lady who I apologise, I will put on the screen now, and they're running this event. So when I saw this fabric I thought, do you know what, I still want to make a dress, and I'm attending an event with the virtual sewing room this week for the purpose of sewing for Sophisticated, and it was this one. So it's got an Alice in Wonderland theme. I am giving away what I'm using, but I don't mind. It's got teapots and teacups on it, and I just thought that would make a lovely dress of some description. I've got a few ideas in my head and I've got 3 metres to play with, so that will be something nice, I think, by the time that's finished. And that was my fabric purchases. While I was at the Scothern Sewcial, Emma always does a freebies table, because as soon as people know she runs a social and as soon as they know she sews as well, they give her things. So she's always getting stuff, and she very generously puts them on a table for anyone who would like them. And I saw this sewing journal. Now I have got a couple of these, but this one is quite good because it's got quite a lot of details in it. And I thought that might be a good way to journal what I've actually made, because that is why I started YouTube in the first place, so I had a record of what I'd done. But this would be a bit easier to glance at than all the videos I've made. So it just says, beautiful things come together one stitch at a time. So I really like that. Thank you, Emma. And also, if you subscribe to the Specky Seamstress, please look away if you haven't got these by now. I'm hoping you have. But we got the bias binding, which is this lovely rainbow daisy print. Those daisies, just flowers, but it's very pretty, and I thought that would brighten up any garment at the moment in this lovely weather. And then we got some labels. They say made with love and mistakes, and I think Laura might have been thinking of me at the time, because when I went to the Scothern Sewcial, I think I left my brain at home as well, because as well as forgetting my toolbox, I was trying to sew pockets onto the skirt directly rather than onto the other pocket piece that they come with. So yeah, it was definitely left at home that day, and that would have been quite suitable to put in. And then you've got these cute little ones with scissors on as well. So I really love those. So what are my plans for the coming week? Well, I've got the Waves and Wild Kinjarling dress to finish, and I will show you all that in the next video. And I have a virtual sewing room to attend. I'm actually changing my working hours from this week, with the intention that that will give me some time at home to obviously do life and also to do some sewing. So hopefully I'll be able to do a bit more of a regular video for you all. And I'm also going to be planning my dressmaker's ball dress, because I need to make a toile before I make the actual dress, and it's fast approaching. September has just zoomed by already, and it is the second week of October, I think it is, so I haven't got long to do that. So I'm definitely going to be cracking on with that this week, just to make sure that is the dress that I will make. And I also got some fabric in Florida, so I'm hoping to use that for the final thing, and I can show you that in my Florida haul, which is something else I'm planning to get out to you next week. Also some warmer clothes. I've got plenty of Ponte and French terry, so I'm hoping to make a few more tops. But I have some other vlogging tours I've joined. I haven't done one for a while due to time commitments, but I'm hoping to join in with the upcycling challenge and also the work in progress challenge, because I've got lots of whips. So I think that would motivate me to crack on with some of them and get them done, so that they're not in my whip pile anymore, because it is growing and I just need to get them done now. So I'm looking forward to doing that one, and I think it will be an eye-opener for both myself and you. So that's my Friday Sews vlog on a Friday. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, I'd love you to join my channel. I hope you get some time to get some sewing done this week, and please put a comment in the box below. I love reading your comments and I always respond. So take care and bye for now.